This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This is James Arnold Taylor, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi. I have a good feeling about this.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of CWK Live every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm your host, Dan Zare, thrilled to be talking Star Wars with each and every one of you. It's great to see all of you. We're going to talk about Indiana Jones, Star Wars, all that good stuff with this wonderful community. Let's bring in our friends. Mary is here. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Mary, great to see you. She says, oh my gosh, the last scene of the new intro is gold. Thank you. It's cool, right? I got the approval from Mrs. Zare. She loved it too. I was really happy about that. I mean, I knew she would love it, but it was fun to work on it and get her feedback. So I love it because it shows us. It shows us on the Star Cruiser at the end. Those of you who got to be a part of that, which was really so much fun. So thank you, Mary. Terry is here. Hello, Terry. Great to see you, my friend. And Minta's here. This is the day. It's CWK Day. This is the way. Minta, good to see you. Hopefully things are going well in your neck of the woods. And Blake is here too. Hello, Blake. Great to see you, my friend. Awesome. Well, we've got a fun show today. You just saw the brand new intro for CWK Live. And so that was something I teased. We're also going to rank the 5 Indiana Jones films. And we've got some Star Wars trivia as well. Plus, I've got some really fun things that were revealed today that are available merchandise-wise when it comes to Star Wars and summertime. So let's take a look at what is brewing in the world of Star Wars this week.
And now, let's see what's brewing in the Star Wars universe this week.
Greg, great to see you. What's that? What happened there? Let me bring in the new stuff. Yeah, it is. It's great to see you, Greg. Yeah, ranking these is not going to be fun. Let me pull in the correct slide here. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay, let's do this. We have got a lot of fun Star Wars summertime items, which were announced today. The good folks at Disney sent over some really, really cool stuff that I'm going to share with you that was really, really fun to watch, really fun to check out. So first we've got these towels. There's a number of different designs. I only posted 2 of them. These are all from a place called Sand Cloud. There are several different designs. I picked out 2 of the really, really cool ones. They've got some with Grogu. There's one with the Mandalorian and Grogu called the Dadalorian, which is not presented here, but that one's pretty fun as well. Now this, to me, this is so much fun. Look at these things. So we have got on the right, we've got a pair of tropical tiki. Just say that 5 times fast. Tropical tiki Grogu Hawaiian shorts. These are from they're swimsuit. These are from Hot Topic. The official title is the Mandalorian Grogu Tropical Trunks, and they are from Hot Topic, only $32.90, which I think is pretty cool. Now these shorts on the right, I'm fast forwarding. I've got a cheat sheet here that Disney sent me. Let me take a look at that. These are from RSV LTS. It is called the Trilogy. These retail for $65. This is a pair of shorts, I believe. I don't think it's swimsuit, but pretty fun. I know, Greg, you're going to be rocking these, right, buddy? Jason, I think you should as well. Some Star Wars modeling. This is the Ahsoka. This is just a classic bucket hat, but I think it's perfect timing, especially for, the upcoming Ahsoka that is coming out really, really soon. So that's fun. Really fun. Mary says David needs these shorts to go with his Hawaiian Huck shirts. I know, actually, I did think of that, to be honest. I think that would be a capital idea. All right, let's see what else we've got here. I like the middle of the OT images they chose. I do too. I think it's nice and classic, especially when you got that iconic Vader up in the there in the corner, and then you got Han and Leia. It's fun. I'm really tempted to get these. All right, now for the kiddos, you got a number of nice outfits for the kiddos for summertime, for swimming at the pool. The one on the right is from Shop Disney, I believe. Let me verify that. So the one on the left with Grogu is from Walmart, walmart.com. It's called Big Boys Swim Rash Guard Swim Trunks. And of course, it's got that great Grogu on it. The one on the very right, that is from Target. That is a Millennium Falcon TIE Fighter X-Wing combo with a swim shirt, which is great. Man, if Mason was younger, I know he would have worn that. Heck, I'd like to wear that thing. And in the middle, that is from Shop Disney. These are just classic Star Wars swim trunks for kiddos. Pretty fun. All right, I know all of you are thinking, I wish I could wear this stuff. I hear you. Okay, now we've got some things where if you're not going to be swimming, but you're going to be sitting by the pool, you want to have something to enjoy your tasty beverage. You've got this is from Beeline Creative. It's from tonk.com, TOYNK.com. This is a Mandalorian the Child with Frog, a glass tiki mug. And then you've got, on the right, this is a Darth Vader mug. And let me verify the company for you. Let's see. Boy, they've got a lot of stuff. There's so many things out there for you to choose from. This is from Corksicle. It's from corksicle.com. It's their Star Wars collection. It's a nice Darth Vader mug. Pretty slick design, too. All right, this is another tiki item. I believe this is a Jawa punch bowl. Let me see if I can get some dimensions here for you. I will take a look. You can hear me clicking my mouse, looking through all these goodies. Yep. This is from tonk.com. It is a 64-ounce punch bowl with a Jawa. Pretty wild. It's a $89.99 retail. Maybe you can find it a little cheaper elsewhere. Aminta says, I need that tiki. It's perfect for cocktails and such. Yes, it is pretty slick. And then lastly, our friends from Rain Spooner, you saw me sporting the shirt at the Coffee with Kenobi meetup. When I posted a lot of pictures of that the night before we went on the Star Cruiser. But they have some Star Wars items. You've got a Mandalorian option on the left, which is a nice kind of a reddish orange, depending on how you see color, I guess. And on the right is some great iconic Ewok imagery, as well as stuff with Hoth. And you've got Han and Carbonite. Woo, that would be interesting. You've got the Cantina band. You've got Luke on the Tauntaun. Pretty cool. Terry says, oh yeah, that shirt on the right looks like I'd wear it. Dude, for sure. You'd be awesome in that. I agree. There's a lot of really nice stuff here. And then Hasbro, I didn't get a chance to add it to the slides for today, but Hasbro announced some great stuff that is coming out for Ahsoka as well. I'll be posting that later in the cafe. Mita says I can wear both those shirts. They are pretty slick. All right, let's do this. I'm dreading this. I can promise you, I didn't actually make my list. And I've known about this list for over a week because I knew I was going to schedule it this way. I did not make my list until 5 minutes before airtime because I just couldn't do it. It was hard. I mean, I know. You know, I sort of laugh at myself. I guess I had this coming, didn't I? Because whenever I make people rank stuff, I say, it's okay. You can change your opinion later, and you can sort of decide again how you want to rank this stuff, which is all totally true. Oh, teacher, take. Oh gosh, I need to see. I updated these, and then I didn't add them into the show, so I'm gonna do that. So this was hard. This was hard for me because, this is a caveat. I want you all to feel comfortable embracing this caveat as well. You can change this list 5 seconds after you share it. I know I will. And I'm going to talk about why I ranked the things I did. My number 5 is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the brand new film. That's not a bad thing. This is what I'm going to quote. A buddy of mine who made me a fedora years ago, he said, Indiana Jones movies are like pizza. Even when they're bad, they're better than anything else. Exactly. And Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is not bad. I think if I saw right on Instagram, Greg, you've seen it 5 times? Amazing. I've still only seen it the first time, the first day it came out. I'm desperate to see it again. I just haven't been able to do so, and I certainly am planning on seeing it again in the theater 1 or 2 more times because it's Indiana Jones on the big screen. But kind of like I see some of you are saying, It's so new and fresh in my mind that I just haven't had time to fully, properly sort of digest it yet. And to me, as much as I do enjoy it, and hopefully you heard the review on Coffee with Kenobi last week or 2 weeks ago, I love it, but I think it's the least fun overall, the most heavy of all of the films, and that took a little getting used to for me. Again, not a bad thing, but that's just sort of where I'm standing right now in the ranking. And again, that could very well change when I see it again. Okay, let's go back. Oh, look at it. We've got some people here. I love seeing this. Love, love, love it. All right, number 5 for Terry, The Dial of Destiny. It is so new and hoping it resonates as time goes on like the other ones. Exactly. Mary's 5, Temple of Doom has always been on my bottom. It's a good movie, but it's never been a favorite. Totally fair. I think we're going to have a lot of variety on here, which is what I'm totally hoping for. Jason, I still haven't seen a new movie, so I'll only have a top 4. Well, Jason, that's fine. We'll put that on we'll pretend like that's your number 5, in air quotes. Means is 5, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It's a good movie. I just think it was a tad too much jumping from relics in a desert to aliens. Fair enough. Totally fair enough. Blake's 5, Dial of Destiny. Haven't seen it, so can't rank it above last. Okay. I respect that honesty. And my cousin Raquel's here. Hello, Raquel. Great to see you. Number 5 for Raquel is Crystal Skull. Okay. I'm like seeing the balance. So, and Greg says Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is 5. Also, it's far better than its reputation. I agree. But the pacing and script is a bit off. I'm glad we have it, but it's my least favorite pizza. Perfect. A great analogy, my friend. All right, let's go into number 4. Number 4, again, when I move into these new slides, you're like, wait, what? It's because I didn't get a chance to update it. Crystal Skull. It's so interesting that Crystal Skull became my number 4. Because, honestly, if you would have asked me a month ago, Crystal Skull would have been number 2. Easy, no problem. I wouldn't have even had to think about it. But I've been rewatching them again, as I've mentioned a couple of times on the show, with Mason, and seeing it through his eyes and just sort of seeing it as, older, that it just, I don't know, they're all hitting me differently for different reasons. I love Crystal Skull. Like Greg said, it's much better than its rep. I think the last 20, 25 minutes or so, I don't mind the aliens thing. I mean, heck, as many crazy things happen in these films, and I'm not going to spoil anything. How could anything at any point be like, what? That's too far-fetched. There's nothing such a thing as too far-fetched in an indie film, in my opinion. But I think up to when we get towards halfway through the jungle, it's an almost perfect indie film. I love it. I love Harrison in it. I love his relationship with Mutt. Harrison Ford is at the top of his game. It's funny. It's just great. And he and Marion are great. But it's my number 4. It is my number 4. Okay. Let's see what everybody else has. Number 4 for me to Temple of Doom. Not my top favorite, but it's still an enjoyable movie. Fair enough. Terry's 4. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, lots of great dialogue. And just to clarify, my top 4 is only separated by 0.04 of a point. Now that is a man after my own heart. Exactly. The margin is so small. Hey, there's actually an older pour-over where we ranked all the Star Wars films from, like, all of them. And I should post a link to that because that was pretty challenging too. Oh, this was harder. Maybe it's because it's smaller. Okay, I'm babbling. I am babbling. Mary's 4, Dial of Destiny, but it's barely a 4. Very hard decision between it and Crystal Skull. I agree. Almost dead even for numbers 4 and 3. Cool. That's cool. I struggled with my 4 and 5 too. Jason's 4, Temple of Doom. It's a little too dark for how I like my Indiana Jones. Completely understand that. I would have said the exact same thing up until about a month ago, actually. Blake's number 4, Crystal Skull. I really don't think it's a great movie, to be honest. The ending with the aliens replacing science with spiritual or historical things I don't like, but it can be fun at times, to be fair. Yes, there's some good moments in it, but I understand that, we all have different palates. Our cinematic taste buds change. 4 for Greg, Temple of Doom. There are some amazing set pieces, but the years have not been kind to its representation of Indian culture. Very true. But Ke Huy Quan is untouchable. He's wonderful. I posted in the cafe. I actually opened it because I'm sort of doing that now. I got the short round figure. He looks great in my studio. Raquel. I'm getting such a kick out of you being here, Raquel. This is so fun. Number 4, Dial of Destiny, but the scene of the mid-century 20th plane flying over the ancient ships is one of my favorite scenes. Oh, cool. From all 5 films. Yeah, that was pretty beautiful. Pretty well done. Very good. We're going to talk about that the next time I see you. All right. I think I've got everybody. So I'm going to jump into number 3, and it's going to have the card from last week, but I promise I will change it as quickly as I change my mind about how to rank these Indiana Jones films. Number 3 for me, Last Crusade. Maybe a shocker. I don't know. I love Last Crusade. It's delightful. Sean Connery is amazing. Harrison and Sean Connery are great. Arguably, the way it ends might be perfection. If that was the last time we ever saw Indiana Jones riding off into the sunset, for crying out loud, I would have been totally at peace with that. And I love it. It's so much fun. The reason it got to 3, I guess, is because, I mean, it's the most silly of all of them, and it's still not. So it's got some very heavy things. I think it's the most personal of the Indiana Jones films besides Dial of Destiny, but I think this one resonates a little bit more profoundly because it's extended over a long period of time as far as the emotional beats go. And I don't know, it doesn't take itself as seriously, but it does. The tank scene, it's great. And to me, the Indiana Jones films that are more biblically based, I respond more to those, but that's just because of who I am in sort of my belief system. But all of the MacGuffins are really fun. So that's a long, circuitous way of saying, yes, Last Crusade's awesome. It's my number 3. Okay, let's see. What else do people have? Number 3 for Terry, Temple of Doom. It's dark, but Short character interaction with Indy really makes this film for me. Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. He's just so delightful. Means to 3, Dial of Destiny was a good way to end his story, tying up the loose ends with Marion, his teaching career, and just being able to enjoy his golden years. Yes, and it does take him a while to get there. He's a hurt archaeologist internally, for sure. Mary Street, obviously, Crystal Skull. Love John Hurt. He's great in this film. Great. I'm glad to see Crystal Skull getting some love. Raquel for 3 is Temple of Doom. Raquel, you got to start including your reason why. I want to see what you're thinking. Blake's 3, Temple of Doom, is the odd one of the bunch from the original trilogy and is a tad dark for the franchise. A tad dark? When's the last time you saw it, dude? It's dark. It's dark. But Short Round is the ultimate sidekick who we all love and enjoy to this day. He's great. It's so great. You have to ask Tom Gross about Short Round. He gets all verklempt over it. 3 for Jason, Crystal Skull. I like the movie a lot. Just haven't had as much time with it. Kind of like the Star Wars sequel trilogy. That's a great little comparison. Greg's 3, Dial of Destiny. Such an unexpected gift to get this last one. It's chock full of great action and character beats. Helena is a real standout. Helena, she's fantastic. I do love her in this film. I think she's awesome in it, for sure. Okay. Well, so far, we haven't seen Raiders of the Lost Ark in anybody's lower 3, and that's good. Because, it's Raiders of the Lost Ark, but we got to get to number 2. Just giving you a little bit of a hard time. That's what friends do. Number 2 for me, I never would have expected I would say this, but it's Temple of Doom. Again, a month ago, Temple of Doom would have been 5 by a landslide. It might even, if properly persuaded, might have said, I'm not even sure if I like it. I remember watching it when Mason was first born. It really bothered me. I just thought it was just really dark, really violent, and stuff against kids. And there's definitely some uncomfortable portrayals of some people of Indian culture. Not all of it, but some of it. Then I watched it a month ago with Mason, and he'd never seen it, and I loved it. It was great. The action was good. I still think the narrative in the middle is very choppy, but I don't think it matters. Now, this is the least archaeology-ish that Indy really is, and I love when he does the archaeology stuff, of course. But the Harrison just he looks amazing. He's awesome. There's some great iconic sequences. Short Round is fabulous. The intro is terrific. It's very exciting. The cost could not be too much higher. So it's number 2. I can't even imagine I would say this, but here we are. So much so that I went and bought a bunch of Temple of Doom merchandise recently. So who knew? 2 for me, to Last Crusade. It's a well thought out story. Plus, not to mention Sean Connery played his part beautifully. Sean Connery, the king. Terry, number 2, Last Crusade. Love Sean Connery and his interaction with Harrison. Their chemistry was perfect. It really was. It really was. Mary's 2 is Raiders. I love it. I know it was the first, but it's still number 2 on my list. Hey, that's totally great. There is no wrong answer for this or any top 5. It's all personal preference, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I mean, a lot of people, the way this is going, you can kind of tell. A lot of people feel very similar to a lot of you. Raquel's 2 is Last Crusade. Sean Connery is the perfect choice to be Indy's dad. Yes, James Bond as Indy's father, of course. Absolutely perfect. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? I did miss some people. Sorry about that. Greg's 2 is Raiders. It is absolutely as a film you put in a top time capsule of greatest achievements of our culture. But it's not quite as rewatchable as my number 1. Fair enough. I love it. Jason's 2, Last Crusade, just a great all-around movie. Lots of fun, and Sean Connery is fantastic. He is totally fantastic. Blake's 2 is Last Crusade. The father-son dynamic works so beautifully. 2 of the greatest actors of all time. Love that. And the relic they are going after and some of the story beats around it towards the end are amazing. It is amazing. It's really beautiful, really well done. And just some great key character moments, too. All right, well, let's go ahead to number 1. We need a drum roll here. My number 1. I mean, we can all do the math on this. Of course, it's Raiders. Are you kidding? Raiders is... for a while, I thought... for the most of my life, I've said Raiders Lost Ark is not only my favorite indie movie, it's my favorite movie, period, in the history of cinema, anything. For a while, though, a little while, I said, you know what? I think it's tied with Black Panther. I would, if you've pressed on what's more important culturally and what's being said, Black Panther is the top. But as far as rewatchability, my incredible love for it, there's not a single moment that I don't think is perfect. It's Raiders. It's Raiders. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders of the Lost Ark is the best action film ever made. The intro of Indy. Indy is most balanced as far as being really, really good at what he does. Also being very fallible, making mistakes, recovering from them, never giving up, using a ton of archaeology in his mind. He's the most scholarly in this one, I think you could say. And that truck sequence it's the best stunt sequence I've ever seen. It's great. I haven't seen the new Mission Impossible yet, but I feel like those kind of echo some of the realistic stunt work and the way that they execute a scene without relying too much on CGI, which of course you couldn't do when Raiders came out. I'm going to get a drink. I'm going to pause myself 1 second. Let's look at what everybody else has for number 1. Number 1 for me is also Raiders. I remember seeing this and it instantly drew me into the franchise because the story itself by far the best in the series. You know, I won't argue that. Terry's is also Raiders. It's the OG of the series and introduced everything that built these films that followed. Gave us the best action hero of all time. Greg's number 1 is Cruise Last Crusade. To me, it's the perfect merger of MacGuffin and themes. I watched it more than any others and still cry at Indiana Let It Go. I think that's such a beautiful, important moment. Such a great moment. I think the most personal of the entire franchise. That part right there. Mary's 1 is Last Crusade. I love Harrison and Sean Connery together. The writing, the acting, the story was all so perfect. And of course, we all thought it was the end of the indie story with him riding off into the sunset. I can sit and watch this movie no matter where it is when I flip over to it. No complaints here. It's great. It's so good. Raiders is number 1 for Raquel. Even though it has been decades since I saw it for the first time, I can still remember sitting in the theater with no expectations, but completely mesmerized by every second. Oh, just wait till you watch it again. It's just so good. Jason's 1 is Raiders. This is one of the most classic movies of our generation, and I never would have watched the other films if this one wasn't as great as it is. That's a good point, Jason. It set the standard and made us really want to see more about this character. Blake's number 1 is Raiders. It's literally a perfect film. I thought back to me and my brother growing up. We weren't alive when it was released, but as kids we had Indiana Jones hats and wanted to be like him. Because of this film, this top 5 this week brought all this back to me. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm so glad. It was fun. Jason said also what Terry said. Yes, ditto. Well, Jason, when you and Blake, when you both see Dial of Destiny, please put a review in the cafe so we know what you think. Did I put a spoiler option on the cafe? I think I did, because I know people like to write about it, and I want to hear what you had to say as well. All right, so what are we going to do next week? We spent over a month on Indiana Jones. I'm not sad about it. I've had an absolute blast. The enjoyment of Indiana Jones will live on forever and ever, and I hope that we find ways to incorporate more Indiana Jones into Coffee with Kenobi. But as we're sort of the sun is sort of setting on this iteration of the resurgence of Indiana Jones, we got to go back and do a little franchise I like to call Star Wars. We're gonna flip this pages a little bit, flip the script. We actually did this on Pour Over years ago, but I don't think we've ever done it on a live show. So we're gonna give our top 5 Star Wars novels. How about that? Greg says, all the indie content has been great, Dan. Thanks for celebrating it for so long. Hey, my friend, happy to do it. So happy to do it. Mary, it was great to rewatch these movies with everyone. I think that's one of the things I love so much about this is we get to share them together and talk about it with each other. Mary, and everybody, get your top 5 list of Star Wars novels ready. It's going to be harder with the brand new novel that Delilah Dawson has released that came out today. It's a fantastic book, Rise of the Red Blade. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right, I think it's time. As promised, we're going to do some Star Wars trivia. Who's ready for some Star Wars trivia? Yes, this is going to be fun. All right, it's been a while since we've done trivia. I've got some things here for you. Okay. So you know how this goes. It's been a while since we've done Star Wars trivia. I want you to consider the question. Please don't look anything up. And just see what happens. Greg says legends and canon. Legend or canon? Yeah, legend and canon. Everything. That's what I thought. I'm like, let's just do everything. Let's just do absolutely everything when it comes to it. I think that would be fun. Because there's a lot of wonderful Legends novels as well. I think we'll keep it to fiction. Probably. Wait, did we? I don't think we did this before. I don't remember. So I think it'll be a great one for next week. All right. It's time for your first question. Speaking of novels, what novel was the original sequel to Star Wars? And who wrote it? Which novel came out in bookstores was the original sequel to Star Wars? And who wrote this book? I'll give you a little bit of time to think about that. What is the answer? Again, the question is, which novel is the sequel? Original sequel to Star Wars, and who wrote it? Mary says the answer is Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. An excellent book. Terry says Splinter in the Mind's Eye. Any idea of an author? Greg says Splinter of the Mind's Eye, Alan Dean Foster. Minta says Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. Blake says Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Jason also says Splinter of the Mind's Eye, but I have no idea who the author is. Well, I think that's everybody that's weighing in. Raquel, any idea? I'll give you a second. Again, the question is, which novel was the original sequel to Star Wars? This book came out, I believe, I don't think it came out in 1977. I think it came out in 1978. I don't know. Here's something crazy. I've never read it. I have it. Splinter of the Mind's Eye. A fantastic cover by the amazing Ralph McQuarrie, I believe. Alan Dean Foster. George Lucas had this written. Wasn't originally sure that there was going to be an Empire Strikes Back. So they have a story. Everyone says it's great. I, of course, want to read it. That's why it's sitting right here for me. But I haven't done that yet. All right. Very good. Okay, Terry, technically I've only read 2 Star Wars novels, and this was one of them. Okay. Well, then you got a little bit of reading to do before next week's top 5, buddy. All right, let's go to your next question. The next question I have for you Which Imperial officer informed Darth Vader that the Emperor demanded contact with him? This is from The Empire Strikes Back. Who informed Vader that the Emperor demanded contact with him? Any ideas there? Let me flip to, I know the answer, but I just want to make sure I'm not misremembering myself. Again, the question is, who informed Vader that the Emperor demanded contact with him? Blake says, was Foster the guy who died, unfortunately, who wrote the original Empire script? No, I think you're thinking of Lee Brackett. I think that's who you're thinking of. So again, the question is, who informed Vader that the Emperor demanded contact with him? This is from the movie The Empire Strikes Back. Craig says Admiral Pitt. Okay. See if we have any other guesses. Again, who informed Vader that the Emperor demanded contact with him? Any other guesses? I've only got one guess so far, and I know a lot of you are typing, and there are various degrees of rapidity with which my screen will show me what you have typed. Mary is going to go with Greg's answer. Greg's answer again, of course, was Admiral Piet. Okay. Anybody else? Going once. Oh, Blake says this is tough. It is tough. It is quite tricky. I will tell you it's not. It's not Grogu. Does that help? Does that help? Jason says, is it Captain Nita? Terry says, to be honest here, since I've exposed my cards, I don't know. Hey, I respect that. Minta's going to go with Greg too. All right, the answer is Admiral Piet indeed. That is the answer. All right, let's go to our next question. I think I've asked this a while ago. I don't know how long ago. I know I've asked this before, but it's a great question. What did Yoda cook for Luke? What did Yoda cook for Luke? There's something in The Empire Strikes Back when he is chatting with Yoda before he knows who Yoda is, and Yoda's making something for him. Luke says, I can't even eat this stuff. We're wasting our time. What is it that Yoda is cooking? I knew Blake was going to say something clever. He did not disappoint. He says, is it ramen noodles? We'll have to wait and see for the answer, Blake. Is it, in fact, what Yoda cooked? Minta says, is it swamp stew? Okay. Jason says, root leaf stew or something like that. Greg says, I think the Star Wars card game called it, CCG card called it Yoda stew. Really? Fascinating. Okay. Mary says, stanky swamp stew. Now, Mary, that does not sound appetizing. In fact, that sounds like the worst candle ever. That's a great name, though. I will give you credit for that. Everybody's got some really clever little answers here. All right, so one more time. What did Yoda cook for Luke? The answer. Anybody know? Root leaf. Root leaf. Jason had it. Root leaf is the answer. Yeah, Terry says, I recall it being a root or a bark stew. Yep, it is in fact root leaf. Okay. But some of these questions are so easy that I just don't want to even bother. I don't even want to bother asking you because I just feel like it's too easy for you. Okay. Mary says, way to go, Jason. That was quite impressive, sir. No, that's too easy too. Oh, okay. Here's one. Which Star Destroyer was under Captain Nita's command? Which Star Destroyer was under Captain Nita's command? That is a good question. Which Star Destroyer was under Captain Nita's command? Any ideas? There's a little asterisk here on this one. Oh, that's because it's considered tough. Tough trivia. Yeah, it is tough. Which Star Destroyer was under Captain Nita's command? I'll give you a second to kind of think that over. Which Star Destroyer was under Captain Nita's command? Greg says the Avenger. That's a cool name. I like that. Blake says Vader's flagship. Can't remember the name. Terry says this feels like Star Wars Trivia Boot Camp. Lots to learn here. Ooh, that's a great way to put that. A lot less push-ups, although we're certainly getting our fill of push-ups in other ways. Okay, again, the question was, what Star Destroyer was under Captain Nita's command? We've got, so far, one guess so far. Greg has one guess, the Avenger. Do you know the name of it? Jason says the Executor. Mary says the Venerator. Those all are very, very excellent guesses. For sure. And there are, well, I will say one of you is absolutely correct. I'll ask you one more time, and then I'm going to give the answer to the question again. What Star Destroyer was under Captain Nita's command? The answer, go with Greg on this one. It's the Avenger. Greg, excellent job, buddy. You are on fire. You are on fire. So we need to make a trivia team with Jason and Greg. We're gonna be in good shape. Terry's been pulling out. Yeah, everybody's doing great. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. I'm trying to think if that's a fair question. Sure, why not? You need to refresh on your Star Wars. Hey, we all do. Okay, where was the Yavin base filmed? Where did they film the Yavin base? Which location was it? Where was the Yavin base filmed? Any ideas? Mary agrees with you, Minta, about refreshing Star Wars trivia. Hey, this is why we're doing it. This is why we're doing it. Where was the Yavin base filmed? Mary says Guatemala. Okay. Excellent guess. Where was the Yavin base filmed? Raquel says Tunisia. Greg says Guatemala, home of Oscar Isaac. Look at you. Mary, don't worry about the spelling. That is no problem. Terry says Ecuador. Blake says, I have no idea what this is going to be news to me, and I love it. Honestly, I didn't know either. I completely forgot about this. I don't even know if I ever knew it. So fascinating. I do know. I think it'd be so fun one day to do like a big, maybe that should be a CWK Mouse fan traveling experience. Jason says Guatemala. Okay. Excellent. Minta says no clue. The answer is Guatemala. The answer is Guatemala. Those were very tricky. Mary says, Greg, yes, the reason he wanted Yarn to be Poe's home planet. Oh, that's right. I do remember that. The questions were brutal. They were challenging, but they were really fun because it's fun. It's fun to make, look, you're all super smart and strong with the Force and you know your Star Wars. So trying to come up with questions to make you think is a great challenge. So I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and jump into Ask Dan Z. Yeah, I need to update that video too. All right, I mentioned the travel thing. I'm gonna put this up here because I hear lots of great questions about it. Excitement. Do not forget, the summer of 2025 will be our next epic Coffee with Kenobi travel adventure with Mouse Fan Travel. We're going on the Disney Wish. You can join us in the Hyperspace Lounge. There's kids adventures for kids. Plus, a Disney cruise is the most wonderful Disney experience you could possibly imagine. And then add to that, bringing your family and being with some of your favorite Star Wars friends on the Disney Wish. You've got 2 years to save. I know I will be saving my pennies for this, bringing my family with me, and I hope that you will be able to join us the summer of 2025. The reason we don't have an actual date yet is because Disney has not announced dates for cruises in the summer of 2025. But as soon as they do, Becky and I will come up with some dates, and we will let you know as soon as possible. Mita says, those questions were tougher than Darth Vader's chokehold. Oh, that is an excellent little expression there, Mita. Mary wants to know, am I going to San Diego Comic-Con? You know what? I would love to, but this weekend is my wedding anniversary, and we've got some really fun plans. We're actually going to a wedding ourselves to celebrate one of our dear friends. So we will not be going to Comic-Con this year. Someday, again, we will go back. My wife wanted me to ask you if you're going to see the Barbie movie. She's forcing me to see it with her. After seeing Mission Impossible, it's going to be movie Whiplash. So, yes, I am going to see it because my wife goes to plenty of movies that are maybe not necessarily right at the top of her wish list, although she enjoys them and we have fun conversations about it and have a good time. But yes, I'm going to. It looks like a fascinating pop culture experience. So yes, Blake, you need to go with your wife to see the Barbie movie. Need to go. How far in advance is the reservation schedule usually open for the Wish? That's a great question, Terry. I'm going to text Becky and I will get back to you on that. I will let you know as soon as I find out. Mary, thank you for the happy anniversary wishes. I appreciate that so much. You know what? How many of you are okay with me showing the intro again? I really want to show you the intro again. Is that cool? I want to show you the intro again because some of you missed the beginning. So let's watch the opening again, the new opening of CWK Live. I had an opening that I used almost since quarantine. I switched it up a little bit. No, I think it's the same one. My office doesn't look anything like that anymore. I just felt outdated. It doesn't really meet the spirit of the show, which is about all of us chatting and me sharing my Star Wars adventures and us just celebrating the love of this saga together. So I'm going to show you the intro again. Hope you enjoy. All right. Thanks for indulging me with that. It was fun. You may have seen some of the familiar Coffee with Kenobi family members' faces like Mary and Terry. David Matter's in there. Tom, of course, is in there. A lot of fun stuff. Chaz approves too. I am glad. It's great. That's great, man. It was fun to film. Looking forward to more experiences like that, where it's the Disney Wish, celebrations, whatever. Really can't wait to spend more time with all of you again. Blake, appreciate it, man. We love you guys. We love you all too. Go see that movie with your wife. You're welcome. Thanks again for joining me. Next week, we're going to do the top 5. It took me a while to think about it because I'm already making my list in my head, and it's going to be hard too. I don't think it can be as hard as coming up with this Indiana Jones top 5. Maybe I'll already alter it. Maybe you already will too. Either way, it's fun to talk with our people. Fun to talk with our Star Wars family. Really appreciate you all so much. Thanks for spreading the word about this show. Best way you can support it is by booking your travel through MouseFan Travel. Just go to coffeewithkenobi.com/MouseFanTravel, or you can join the CWK Alliance. That is a great place to go to get access to CWK Pro, get a bunch of exclusive audio and video. And it's something that helps to allow me the opportunity to do the things that we do on this show. Really appreciate it so much. Appreciate your consideration and friendship and support. Raquel, looking forward to talking with you too. Jason, have a great week. Thank you, Greg, for joining us. Appreciate it. Terry, say awesome as well. So much fun. You're all so much fun. Have fun. Stay cool. Wear sunscreen. Wear your Grogu Star Wars swimsuit. And have a great one, everybody. May the stars light your way. I will see you soon. Thanks again. This is the live podcast you're looking for. See you next time.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.